Yeah, letting it go with an establishing shot here because I don't really like how it's saving my photos with me like looking down all the time. Anyway, so last week we had less views, which is good. Which means we're building kind of an audience. And, it's kind of like old school Saturday Night Live, where, they do a thing and keep doing it. And it's funny at first, then it gets made fun of, and it gets really boring. It's like, why do you keep doing it? Then you start to chuckle again, and then it starts getting funny again, and people start noticing that you really haven't stopped doing it. And, of course, some people say that you just keep on flagellating a graminivorous quadruped in an advanced state of rigor mortis, but really, isn't that just beating a dead horse? So, we had less views. We did pick up a subscriber, which is a really nice, funny lady that I met in a makeup shop, of all things. And we actually got a request this week. So, and who knew requests were a thing? I didn't, but it was. So anyway, my friend Becky bought me a Mountain Dew, and she said, "Can you do this song?" Which is the song that we're going to do today. Well, we've got scheduled for like 3 months, but we can bump a few things up anyway, because she's one of the people that actually watches. So we're going with George Thorogood's one bourbon, one scotch, one beer, and we're going to butcher it horribly. Hopefully, we can get through it all this time, because the last time it said that I had like 4,000 things on my phone and need to delete them like all to continue. So hopefully it doesn't shut us off again. So without further ado, to make a long story short, which is really too late at this point, here is one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. Want to tell you a story about the houseman blues. I come home one Friday, had to tell my landlady I'd lost my job. She said, "That doesn't comfort me, as long as I get my money next Friday." Now next Friday come, I didn't get the rent, and out the door I went. So landlady, I said, "You let me slide. I've rent for you in a month. Next, I don't know." She let me slide on it on. I noticed when I come home that evening, she ain't got nothing nice to say to me. But the 5 years, she was so nice. Lo, she was so lovey-dovey. I came home one particular evening. The landlady said, "You got my rent money yet?" I said, "No, can't find no job. Therefore, I ain't got no money to pay the rent." She said, "I don't believe you're trying to find no job." She said, "You walk, seen you today standing on a corner, leaning up against a post." Said, "But I'm tired. I've been walking all day." She said, "That doesn't concern me, as long as I get my money next Friday." Now next Friday come, I don't have no rent. Out the door I went. So I got down the streets, down to my good friend's house. I said, "Look, man, I'm outdoors, Can I stay with you maybe a couple days?" He said, "Let me go and ask my wife." He said, "Come out of the house." I could see in his face. I knew that was no. He said, "I don't know, man. It's kind of funny. I said, "Everybody funny. Now you funny too." So I go back home. I tell the landlady I got a job. I'm going to pay rent. She said, "Yeah?" I said, "Oh, yeah." And then she was so nice. Lo, she was so lovey-dovey. So I go to my room, pack my things, and I go. I slip out the back door, and down the street I went. She's a howling about her front rent. She'll be lucky to get back rent. She ain't gonna get none of it. So I stop at a local bar. People. I go to the bar. I ring my coat. I call the bartender. I said, "Look, man, come down here." He got down there. "What do you want?" "One bourbon, one scotch, one beer." Well, I ain't seen my baby since I don't know when. I've been drinking bourbon, whiskey, scotch, and gin. Gonna get high, man. I'm gonna get loose. Now give me a triple shot of that juice. Gonna get drunk. You don't have no fear. I want one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. one bourbon, one scotch, one beer. But I ain't. I'm sitting now at the bar. I'm getting drunk. I'm feeling mellow. I'm drinking bourbon. I'm drinking scotch. I'm drinking beer. Look down at the bar. Here come the bartender. I said, look, man, come down here. So what you want? One bourbon, one scotch, one beer. Now, I ain't seen my baby since the night before last. Gotta get a drink, man. I'm gonna get gassed. Gonna get high, man. I ain't had enough. Now give me a triple shot of that stuff. Gonna get drunk. Won't you listen right here? I want one bourbon, one shot, and one beer. Now by this time I'm plenty high. You know when your mouth a getting dry, you're plenty high. Look down at the bartender. I said to my bartender, look, man, come down here. You got down there, so what you want this time? I said, look, man, oh, what time is it? He said the clock on the wall say 3 o'clock. Last call for alcohol. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer. Now I ain't seen my baby 9 a week. Gonna get drunk, man, till I can't even speak. Gonna get high, man. Listen to me. One drink ain't enough. Jack, you better make it free. I want to get drunk. I want to make it real clear. I want one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer. Because after all, it's a celebration.